everybody gets freaked out about the classes. What makes the class hard is the expectations that we put upon you. We expect you to take every round we fire, willfully place it in the exact spot that we are asking for you to do it.
Yeah.
And that takes intense concentration. And that's where I think people fail, is their ability to stay focused on the task at hand for the entire day, and then all 3 or 5 days, whatever the course length is. That's what makes it hard. That's what I think, that truly to me is what I recognize as being hard. It's that.
So you had mentioned earlier that people can be a little bit intimidated to come to your class. That you heard through a training.
Heard it through
another trainer or a few trainers at SHOT Show or something.
Yeah, we're having a kind of casual conversation, and the big thing was, why go to it if you're not going to? This was the comment. This was repeated to me by a good friend of mine, a fellow instructor. He's like, it's like, why go to that class if you're not going to pass it? That was the comment. And I was like, right on. That's exactly the type of person that we don't want coming to the class. I say that facetiously, but really, because, if that's what they're coming for, if they're coming just to get a piece of paper, they've already lost.
Yeah.
That's the frustrating part, is to try to get people right now. There's so many technical kids that all they're trying to do is they either want to look good or they just want the certificate so they can put it up on their island wall. Yeah. And, that's not what we're about. I mean, we're hardcore gunfighters, and that's an important thing to us, and it's not an easy. I mean, you've been through these classes, it's not easy. Mentally, it's fatiguing. Physically, it's demanding. It is a hit to the ego if you come in here with unchecked realities. If you don't recognize, where you stand in the food chain, it can be. And that's the thing. It's like, hey, that's why hard work, discipline, and failure are so important, because people are so afraid to fail. They don't recognize. I mean, you don't realize how many times we have to do runs through a shoot house to get it right. You don't realize how many times we have to, exit an aircraft and get in our formation and land close enough to the DZ to make it, combat effective. I mean, there's just the amount of repetitions and rehearsals and practice that we go through to be as good as we are. It's like, I don't understand why people can't get that or don't get that.
Yeah.
And how failure is a part of that. Like, the way that we push ourselves so hard in those training environments, because we need to know where our failure points are. Yeah. I need to know that, because I don't want a failure point on my conscience that resulted in a teammate being injured or worse, killed. Yeah. None of us want that. That's why the brotherhood is so important.
That'd be worse than dying.
Exactly, it is. I mean, that's why the brotherhood is so valuable for us. So we push hard, and that's one of the things that we try. I try to bring that kind of mindset and passion from my NSW community to the general public, or to those that come to train with us, so they get a glimpse at what it is, what our ethos are, and why they are there.
Yeah.
What's the legacy behind them?
Yeah. And also, I told you, and I'll tell you guys, I've been training with Jeff for 5 years, 7th class, and I'll come to your class, and sometimes I'll do very good at it, or sometimes not as good as I would like to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna say poorly, because sure. It's been a while since I've done poorly in one of your classes. But even then, I say poorly. That's not even the right word, because I learned a shit ton even when I did poorly or whatever.
Yeah, of course, that's part of the whole thing.
And poorly is just, when I say poorly, that's just I did damn good. I learned a lot. I just didn't get the grade that I wanted to get. So that's when I say poorly, I'm talking about the grade itself.
Yeah, of course.
And guys might be afraid of that, but I've learned so much from you, and not to stroke your fucking dick here, but I don't know what your ego. I want you to be able to fit in your truck, in
it's
that
a
cabin.
Big truck.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're right. I think your head should fit. But I just want that was Bjorn.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to know that coming to train with Jeff here, when I go to other classes, I shoot pretty fucking good, according to their standards. Not according to mine all the time. Sometimes, I'll go to another class and just excel to my own standards, but I pretty much do pretty damn good in all the classes I go to. And whether it's compared to the other students or, to the instructor standards. And I pretty much, credit the standards that are in your class. And I don't want to give that too much, too much to you itself. It's standards of your class. But no, seriously, you know, the standards of your class, the standards that you set for us.
Yeah.
And the bar that, you know, that, I mean, you hold us accountable, you know, for every round we fire, you get onto us, you guilt trip the shit out of us, you know, and you get to see a big ass DQ on there, you know. Well, it's something like small, but it looks so goddamn big when you see it. That's just not what you want. If, you know, if you hit anywhere off the silhouette in this class, it's a DQ. It's not a failure, though. It's just, you know, it lets you know that you need to slow down, or you need to grip harder. You need to put your finger on the trigger, on the, you know, on the face of the trigger, not on the side of it, or, you know, off of the frame, or squeeze the trigger correctly. There's a lot of shit that goes into it.
Yeah.
A lot of shit, and you're extremely good. You're the best that of the instructors that I've gone to thus far. You're the best that I've seen at diagnosing issues. You get to come here and learn exactly what you're doing wrong. That I can't tell you how many other students I hear on every single time I come to one of your classes that are like, I've been to a lot of classes and I never heard that before. Well, not just in one of your briefs, but when you're diagnosing something, they're like, no one's ever told me that I was doing that. Jason,
Yeah.
he's a damn hard shooter.
Yeah.
He's been to more classes than pretty much anyone I know,
Yeah.
civilian wise, and he was like, no one's ever told me I was doing that before, and you're just like, how the fuck did they miss that? You know?
I don't think I said that.
No, but
Yeah.
but you know, it's not something that's really obvious. You know, you pick up on little minute things that you didn't get this overnight, though. You've been doing this for a while, and you know, I think some people think that they can, you know, start shooting well and you know, start opening up their own training company or something. But you know, it takes a long time to be able to diagnose things. Just because you can shoot well doesn't mean you can diagnose. You know.
Well, you know, I mean, when we look at our instructors, you know, first of all, and it's a good thing that you bring that up because you know, we really are very selective about who we pick as our instructors that come in there. I mean, you know, most of the time they're coming from NSW anyhow, but you know, they have to have that podium presence, they have to have that time management, they have to have the subject matter expertise. But I mean, it really, they have to, like for me, the ability to diagnose comes simply because of, hey, I've made all those mistakes. I mean, every one of these mistakes that I find, I'm able to identify them because I made them. I did them. You know, I mean, everybody thinks that, you know, I popped out of the womb killer commando.
You were going to say that. Like,
You know?
So none of you and your fellow, you know, instructors at TRICON didn't just, you know, fucking pop out of the womb and.
No. It took a little bit of work. I mean, I was swinging a ball and chain, but I wasn't shooting that good.
Yeah.
But that's the key. That's the thing, you know, and we really are critical about who we select as far as the instruction because, again, you know, you can shoot well, and that's great. That's awesome. You can have the pedigree, and that's great. That's awesome. But we've run into so many, like I was saying, like a level 2 class, the ratio of education to correcting of habits, bad habits, is very lopsided. So in a level 1 class, 70 to 80% of all of our time on the podium is spent at educating, and only about 20-30% correcting bad habits. In a level 2 class, it's just the opposite. Level 2 class, we're spending only about 20-30% on the podium educating. The remaining 70 to 80% is fixing bad habits.
Well, guys coming to a level 2 class, either A, you know, telling you, oh, I've been shooting for years, I know what the fuck I'm doing. Or B, I've been to a lot of classes, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know,
I hate to say that, but yeah.
Sometimes it's the case. You know,
we always give everybody the benefit of the doubt. I'm not gonna just, you know, I'm not gonna shuck it. I'm gonna, you know, hey, all right, you say you're willing. If you say you can do this, then I'm gonna take you at your word. And the problem that we run into is when, you know, I think the difficulty is when all of a sudden the reality sets in. Oh, hey, now I'm not doing as good as I thought I was going to be doing. That's the hard thing, and you know, it's not like it's hard. Okay, everybody gets freaked out about the classes. What makes the class hard is the expectations that we put upon you. We expect you to take every round we fire, willfully place it in the exact spot that we are asking for you to do it. And that takes intense concentration, and that's where I think people fail, is their ability to stay focused on the task at hand for the entire day, and then all 3 or 5 days, whatever the course length is. That's what makes it hard. That's what I think, you know, that truly to me is what I recognize as being hard. It's that, you know, and other instructors will give me a hard time because we have such a high round count. And you know, my response is that, well, every round we fire is you know.
I've never done ballistic masturbation in your classes.
I
I've
love
never
it.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Well, there's
You're a BSA or something.
we have it all falls into there's always a method to our madness, and people don't it's so layered. There's so many layers to what we do and how we do it that people just see the surface and they just immediately make some assumptions that are generally kind of a little bit off. I think I think the more, like, I was having conversations with Joe, and he's been to a few classes and he's got a good head on his shoulders. So all of a sudden when he starts asking me these questions and I start to peel the layer apart, he's starting able to peer in. He's like, oh shit, now I get it. It makes sense. We just don't take the time to explain that to everybody, because then I wouldn't be doing any teaching. I'd be fucking running my mouth all the time, and I don't like to do that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad.
Despite what you think.
Yeah.
I'd much rather be shooting.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you took the time to run your mouth for a little bit here.
Sure. Me
after
too.
class.
Me
I know
too.
it's been a long day, long 3 days.
Yeah.
You want to get home.
Well,
and
I'm
everything,
glad.
so
It's
I
good.
really appreciate it. I'm glad that I mentioned earlier I DQ'd on training day 1. I just was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go ahead and run the gun hard and shoot as fast as I can guarantee the hits, and not worry about the whole score aspect of it. And I did that. And it's rough grade. Still could be a point or two off, correct?
I think
but
it's still good.
It's 85 is what I got. 80 is passing in these classes, and I got 85. So I didn't think I was gonna pass. If I did, maybe I thought maybe I was gonna just shoot the hell out of everything, 100% on everything, every graded thing. I thought maybe I'd get an 80. I figured the closest I get was be that 79, because wouldn't that go fucking figure?
That'd be perfect. 79.9.
I would have fucking killed you.
Didn't you get like a grade like that one time? Didn't you get like a 79?
Not 9, no.
Oh,
I think I got it maybe.
Okay.
74
I thought that was you.
No, I don't think. But yeah, so I wound up getting 85 though. I was really surprised with that. Me and my girlfriend actually both got 85s, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Taylor did very well, very consistent.
She did outstanding.
She did
very
well.
I'm proud of my girl. She's badass. Badass. She's awesome.
She did very well.
Overall, how'd I do?
I thought you did well. I think the watershed moment for you was the DQ.
Yeah.
It really was. And I think once you got past that, I saw, the day 2, day 3 performance.
Throwing down the iron sight, or
got rid of the red dot.
The red dot that I've been shooting for a long time.
Went back to the iron
now.
sights.
Back to iron. A little rusty at first, but
shot hard. And I think that was the watershed moment. I think, and again, it goes back to you've got to fail. If you're not pushing yourself and you don't fail, because in the end, this is where you want to fail. You want to fail here on the flat range. You want to fail during training, because if you're playing inside of your comfort zone and that's all you ever do, when you find yourself outside your comfort zone, you're going to get smoked.
Yeah.
It's so hard to expect yourself to just all of a sudden jump up and be a killer commando.
Yeah.
You have to push yourself past those boundaries, through those failure points, and that, because it's a true test of your character. How do you handle that failure? Do you just kind of sulk around, which you kind of did a little bit, and then
I got pissed. There might have been a beer or two at the hotel that night.
Do you look it in the face? Do you recognize that you're not a failure, but that you just failed, and that you have to actually figure out what you need in order to be successful?
Yeah.
And that was the key. I think a lot of people aren't willing to do that. Again, our culture and our society is such that everybody gets a juice box. Everybody's happy with that. Everybody wants that. You get a little, and it is, look at what it has done for us as a country. It has created this horrible way of looking at things. We've forgotten what it takes to work hard. We've forgotten what the blood, sweat, and tears are that go into all of this. Everybody wants to just be a killer commando and not work hard for it. Not everybody. That's bad. That's stereotyping. But what I feel is, and I partially blame some of the other instructors that are out there. I don't want to be the only one doing this. I don't want to be the only one that's holding everybody to standards.
Yeah.
I want everybody else. Honestly, the burden falls on us as the training cadre in general for us to kind of hold everybody's feet to the fire. And I know there are several. There are good friends of mine that I trust explicitly and admire that are doing it. But I think in general, the training community needs to do a better job of that. And that's one of the what's funny is one of our goals for 2015 is to take our philosophy and methodology of standards to a broader audience. So we're going to be doing I'm not going to be doing a lot of the conferences where we teach shooting anymore. We're going to be doing a lot of the lecture formats at the leadership level on standards.
Yeah.
That's our goal for next year, is to really try to reshape the landscape.
That's outstanding. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, well, it'll be there's going to be a lot of hurt feelings and bruised egos, and I'm sure people will be butthurt about it. But you know, that's what we feel we need to do as a community, as a country, you know, for the big picture kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it shouldn't shock me, you know, when I go to another instructor. You know, when I went when Steve Fisher took over magpul training, carbine and handgun, and I went there, you know, it was a totally different magpul. All of a sudden, he was changing paper after like every few courses of fire, because he wanted everyone to see where their hits are going. And I was like, whoa, this is not the magpul that I saw previously. Yep. He was really getting on to people and getting pissed if you missed. You know, I went to a vehicle CQB class, and he really talked about the importance, especially with vehicles, and you know, if someone's behind cover, but it's cover that, you know, you can get a few rounds through, and once you start punching through that hole, just put the same round dead nuts precision, being able to place through the same hole, and then you can place multiple rounds through there and be able to do what you need to do. And talked about the importance of precision, and it shouldn't be shocking, you know, when I hear someone talk about that. It should be like, oh, that's cool that this guy talks about that. It should be everyone talks about that. Might not be the easy thing to do. Everyone's got their own business plan.
That's the thing, yeah.
Everyone's, well, there's a lot. I don't want to make assumptions, whatever. But you know, hey, it is what it is, and hopefully, you know, you can get some things changed, and other instructors can
come on
board. You know, that'd be great. So
that's what we're hoping for.
Thanks again for having me out.
Brother.
You know,
it's always my pleasure.
Known you for 5 years now, and consider you a friend. And
me too.
You know, I can't wait to come back for Carbine 2 here in a few months.
I'm looking forward to it as well. It's going to be a blast.
All right, take care, brother.
Thank you, man. Be safe out there.
Yep. Thanks a lot, man.
No, that was good.
Appreciate it.
Oh shit. Oh wow.
Shit, that sucks.
Whoa.